Good morning, students. This is Zeba Anjum from St. Mary's School, Nagina. In this video, we are dealing with Let's Click book of Friends publication. This video is basically for class 7th computer. So today, we are going to see some topics of unit number 1, that is computer hardware and software. As the name of the unit suggests, we are going to deal over here with kinds of hardware as well as your software. We are going to see what does your hardware means and what kind of hardwares we are having as well as your softwares. So let us start with the introduction portion. See, this is the PDF version of your book. In the introduction, let us read it out. Computer is derived from the word compute, which means to calculate. The basic work of computer is to do calculation. Yes, we all know we are having a calculator. It is very handy, yet it is the simplest form of your calculation. So computer is derived from the word compute, which means to calculate. We can see that in today's environment, computers are being used in almost every workplace, such as banks, hospitals, educational institutes, malls, railways, and even at homes. Yes, because the uses of computer are being increased day by day. Yes, they are used in many places because there is a need of automation for everything. Automation, by automation I mean advancement. There is a need of advancement in every field. That is why in banks they are using computers, in hospitals, in malls, in every second place we are using computers. Even at homes also we are using our computer. See, we are having mobile phones. This is also a kind of computer because the most of the task that you are doing with your laptop or with your system, you can do it with the help of your mobile also. So that is one kind of your computer. Moving forward, they are important as they increase our work efficiency and access information at a very fast speed. Yes, these two are the main important points. They increases our work efficiency, means our work has been done more efficiently. We will be requiring less amount of time and we can do our work more appropriately. That is why we can say that computers are increasing our work efficiency and access information at a very fast speed. Yes, you can see in malls also, you can see in banks also, they can access our information at a very fast speed with they are taking the help of some kind of database system and all those other coding part. That is none of your concern basically. See, a computer has two main parts that make it work: hardware as well as your software. So over here we are going to learn about hardwares as well as softwares. In today's video, basically we will be seeing what are the hardwares, how many kinds of hardwares we are having. So now, let us start with hardware. Hardware comprises of physical units of a computer that can be seen and touched. It means anything, any physical unit that you can see or you can touch is known as your hardware. So basically, when we are talking about this computer, this hardware basically are categorized into four parts. As you can see on the screen, we are having input devices, output devices, processing devices, as well as your storage devices. Now let us see all the four categories in details. See, the first one, input devices. Basically, as the name suggests, we are going to take input from some kind of hardware devices. Yes, in the output devices, we are going to get some kind of output from your system. Yes, so such devices which are going to give us the output, those hardware devices comes in this category. In the third portion, processing devices, the thing that is going to process every task over there, and that consists of your hardware. That comes under the category of hardware. Such kind of processing devices we are going to see over there. In the fourth one, storage devices, storage for storing any of our files, any of our folders. Such kind of devices we are going to see in the fourth one. So basically let us start with the first one, that is your input devices. As the name suggests, input devices helps us to enter data to a computer. Yes, input devices helps us to enter data to a computer. When we are about to enter something in our computer, then we make the use of input devices. The most common input devices that we know are keyboards as well as your mouse. So as we know, keyboards and mouse are the two most important or the two most common input devices. Some other input devices are. So besides these keyboard as well as your mouse, we are having certain other input devices also. So let us see every device one by one. See the first one, scanner. Scanner is used to scan photos, posters, text, magazine, etc. and feed them directly into the computer. See on the right hand side you are having an image of a scanner. Yes, so such kind of thing is known as your scanner. It is used to scan your photos, posters, text, magazine, etc. All of you have went to a Xerox shop. Yes, when you go to a Xerox corner, over there what you see, there is a big machine. Yes, so it is also some kind of input device. Hardware obviously it is, because you can touch it, you can see it, and it is giving you the input as well as the output. So it ultimately consists of a part that is known as your scanner, or you can say it is a machine in which scanner is inbuilt. Yes, that is how you can scan every page of your book. You can scan your photos, text, magazine, etc. You can scan anything. So that is a real example that you might have seen. That is a very common example over there. So see on the right hand side, basically this is a proper scanner that is used to scan photos, posters, text, etc. Now see some kinds of scanners we are also having. Flatbed scanner and handheld scanners are commonly used scanners. Flatbed scanners has a flat plane of glass on which we place the items to be scanned. Handheld scanner is dragged over the object that is required to be scanned. See on the right hand side we are having an image of your handheld scanner. Have you went to a mall? Yes, over there when you purchase something, yes, they were having an appropriate code over it that has been written, and if you have noticed over there, they were having some kind of a scanner in their hand. Then what they basically do, they just hold this kind of a scanner over there on the bar, and some kind of input is being taking place. Yes, if you have noticed over there, some kind of scanner they are holding in their hand, that is a kind of your handheld scanner. And what does it is doing, it is scanning this thing out. Yes, so that you are getting the information on this on their monitor, and over there you will be getting your bill. Yes, now coming towards the second one, that is your MICR. See, MICR stands for Magnetic Ink Character Recognition. It is an input device used to identify and read magnetized characters present on a check, etc. On the right hand side, you can see the image of MICR. Yes, see, it is used to read some magnetized character. Basically used to read something on the check, so it is most popular among your banks. Coming towards the third one, digital camera. See, digital camera is an input device that is used to take pictures from the camera and transfer them to the computer. Yes, digital camera, all of you are well aware about it. A memory card stores the picture in a digital camera, and a card reader is used to transfer them to the computer. See, it comprises of two parts, as you can see on the right hand side. See, this is our digital camera. On the right hand side, you can see majority of two things are being embedded over there. First one, your memory card that stores your data or your picture in this camera, and the second one, the card reader. Card reader is used when you are going to transfer them to any computer or your mobile phone or any other device. If you want to transfer this overall data, then at that time this card reader is being used over there. So digital camera as a one is itself one kind of your input device. Now moving forward, we are having drawing tablets. Drawing tablet is an important device which has a board, a special pen to write over it, and is connected to the computer. See at the right hand side, this is our drawing table. Yes, it is being connected to the computer, and whatever you are writing with this pen on this tablet is directly taken as an input from your system. Moving forward to the fifth one, touch screen. Touch screen refers to a computer screen or other screen that we can use to input data by our fingertip. Touch screen mobile is an example of touch screen. Yes, very common. No need to explain it furthermore. Sixth one, webcam. A webcam is a video camera attached to a computer. This input device is used in video conferencing and instant messaging on the internet. Yes, this is a kind of web camera. Again, if you can see in your laptop or in your mobile phones or in your you can say in your systems, in your some of your computers, this webcam is being attached over there. Yes, in the laptop, most preferably if you have seen, the webcam is at the very top. Yes, it is used to record the video. It is used basically for camera kind of purpose. So all these were the input devices. Now let us move towards some your output devices. See, output devices helps us to access the desired output and information. Yes, obviously the term output suggests the same. It is giving you the output as well as the information. Now see, the most common output device that we have seen is monitor, as well as you can see the speakers. Those are the most popular output devices. Now again we are having some more over there. Monitors and speakers are the two most commonly used output devices. Some other useful output devices are printers. Yes, printers are there. So again, we are going to see some categories of printers over there. Printers are used to take the output on a piece of paper from a computer. Yes, from the computer you gave the command and the printer prints the data on the piece of paper, whether it be an A4 paper or any other size of paper. Yes, so there are three types of printers nowadays. So basically we are going to learn about the three types of printers. First one, dot matrix printer we are having. See, this printer is very less expensive but very noisy. It is very noisy. Why? Because whenever you type anything or whenever it prints anything, then it makes a noise. In every keystroke it makes a noise. So that is why it is very noisy. The speed of this printer is measured in characters per second. See, from this section, basically you can get the one word answer. Likewise, the speed of dot matrix printer is measured in dash. Likewise, fill in the blanks, or you can get the one word answer, or you can get true false. Such kind of questions you can get from this portion. Now the second one, inkjet printer. This printer sprays a small stream of fast drying ink to form letters and images. Yes, the speed of this printer is measured in lines per minute. This is for your characters per second, so the speed is quite less. Over here we are having lines per minute, and hence the speed is comparatively more. The third one, laser printer. It is the fastest amongst all. This printer uses laser technology to give the best quality output and is the most expensive printer. Yes, laser technology is being used over there, as well as it is the most expensive printer. The speed of this printer is measured in ppm, that is pages per minute. So this one, dot matrix printer, is having the lowest speed among these three. This is having the medium speed, and this is having the fastest speed among these three. Now at the bottom you can see the images of these printers. First one, this is dot matrix printer. Second one, inkjet printer you are having, and the last one you are having laser printer. Now another kind of your output devices is basically your plotters. See, these printers, when we want to print something on an A4 sheet, or you can say some smaller thing, we have to take the print it off, then we are using these printers. And if we want to take the printers on the large piece of paper, then we are using these plotters. Now see, plotter is an output device used to make large paper drawing like maps and many engineering drawings. Yes, because over there you have seen maps. They are having a very large size like A3 paper they are having. Yes, or more kind of papers also they are having. So for printing such kind of papers, for printing such kind of maps and other things, these plotters are being used. So again, the plotters are of three types. First one, drum plotters. It is used to produce graphs on a paper. Basically, these are used to make graphs. Second one, flatbed plotter, used to design car, ship, airplane, buildings, etc. Basically, the design of these things are being made over there using this flatbed plotter. Coming towards the last one, that is your inkjet plotter. It is used to design banners, billboards, etc. Yes, all of you are well aware about the banners. So basically colored thing is used over this inkjet plotter, flatbed plotter also, and somehow in drum plotter also. Now moving forward with the third kind of output device, that is your LCD projector. Yes, I think You might know this LCD projector. Everybody have seen it in the classrooms. Yes, in the smart classrooms. So projector is used to display picture, video and data on a large screen. Yes, it is widely used to give presentation about a product, company, etc. Basically, this LCD projectors were used in a company for some kind of presentation. Yes, but nowadays these projectors are also used in the classrooms. As you can see, smart classes you were having. Yes, so over there we are using these kind of LCD projectors also. Now the first two categories we have seen, that is input devices as well as your output devices. Now moving towards the third kind of in your hardware devices, that is your processing devices. See, CPU, also called as central processing unit. So before discussing about the central processing unit, let us discuss about the major, or you can say the very common figure of your computer. See over there, it is an input portion where you are going to give the input with the help of your mouse or your keyboard or some list over there we have studied over there. And in between we are having a CPU, that is your central processing unit we are having. Yes, and on the right hand side we are having the output. Again we have seen some devices for taking your output. So over there in the processing unit we are going to see about this thing. CPU is also divided into two parts. Yes, CPU is also divided into two parts, basically this one as well as your secondary memory. Yes, so over here we are going to learn about this CU, ALU and your primary memory, or you can say your memory unit. So let us start with this processing unit. The CPU, also called the central processing unit, is the processor or the brain of the computer. Since your childhood, you must have been learning this definition. Yes, it is known as the brain of the computer. Why? Because it is handling the major, or you can say complex operations of your computer. That is why it is the brain of the computer. Every processing is being done over here. So it makes calculation and processes data into information. Yes, you are giving some raw kind of data over there. Likewise, you are giving 10, 20 over there, and you says add both the numbers. So what your CPU is doing, it is adding both the numbers and it is giving you the output for the same. So the main task or the main important task is being done by your central processing unit. Yes, so the CPU controls all input and output devices and consists of three units. Basically, three units it is composed of. First one, ALU, arithmetic logic unit. As the name suggests, arithmetic, it means it is doing some form of calculations. It is performing some arithmetic task with it. So it performs the task of arithmetic calculations and logical operations. Yes, arithmetic calculations means your addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, all those things. Yes, and logical operators means greater than, or you can say logical operations basically comprises of your yes or no kind of operations. Now the second one we are having control unit. It controls all the operations of the computer. Mainly what kind of operation is to be performed, how much time is to be given for each operation. Yes, so such kind of decisions or such kind of operations are performed by CU, that is your control unit. Now the third one, that is your memory unit. It is used to receive, hold and deliver data as per the instruction from the control unit. See, this primary memory is basically used to receive, hold and deliver data as per the instruction from the control unit. It means it is a temporary storage. For a temporary kind of thing, it is using your, it is holding values. Yes, if you say add on 2, 3, 5, you have given three numbers 2, 3, 5. Then what does this ALU do? It firstly adds your 2 and 3. The addition becomes 5. Yes, so this 5 is being stored to your memory unit. Then afterwards this 5 will be retrieved and the further process is being taking place. Now getting the point. So that is how it is holding some kind of intermediate value. Yes, so that is why for a time being it is holding some kind of values. Now see, again we are having this secondary memory portion that is also in your CPU. Yes, so over here let us see some storage devices. See, storage devices of a computer is called computer memory. Basically it is known as your computer memory because it is a storage device. Storage devices are used to store data and information. Yes, so over here you can see a chart. Computer memory is divided into two parts, primary memory and your secondary memory. So over here on the left hand side we are having our primary memory, and the right hand side we are having our secondary memory. So see, this primary memory is basically embedded in your CPU. You can see over here it is embedded in a CPU, but regarding your secondary memory you can plug it out. Yes, for a time being you can plug in and after that you can plug it out. Yes, so as you can see the examples, we are having RAM kind of primary memory, ROM kind of primary memory. Yes, these are stored in your central processing unit. But on the right hand side, this hard disk, compact disk and your your pen drives, these are optional. You can insert it for a time being and then you can take it out. Now let us see this RAM and ROM and all the secondary memory in some kind of details. We have learned that there are two types of computer memory. Let us recall that these are primary memory and secondary memory. Primary memory consists of RAM and ROM, that is random access memory and read-only memory. Secondary memory is permanent and so is called non-volatile memory. See, now here comes the topic of volatile and non-volatile. See, basically your secondary memory is permanent and it is called non-volatile. By non-volatile we means that when your computer is switched on, yes, then you are having the data. But when your computer is switched off, then if your memory is non-volatile, then it is holding that thing. Then it is holding the data. Yes, but if your computer is switched off and if your memory is volatile, then it means whatever data you were seeing on the system, that is removed. Yes, so by volatile, what we mean? By volatile, we means that it is holding your data only up till your system is on. As soon as you shut down your system, all the data has been flushed off. That is the meaning of volatile. And by non-volatile, what we mean? You are having the data when your computer is switched on, as well as when your computer is switched off, then also you are having the same data. So that is why we can say that your secondary memory is permanent. But regarding your primary memory, it is consist of RAM as well as your ROM. Among these two kind of your memory, this RAM, random access memory, is a volatile one and your read-only memory is a non-volatile one. Yes. So now these were the four categories of your hardwares. Now moving towards the softwares, in your basically next video we are going to discuss about these softwares and all other related terms. These software, see categories 2 we are having relationship, again we are going to see data system, bits, bytes and all these things we are going to see. So this is for up till now. Yes. So this is for up till now. Now please try to do this fill in the blanks questions as well as your true false questions. Yes, so please try to do them on your own. In the next video, most probably we will complete the chapter as well as we will do the exercise portion. Okay, and please, yes, regarding those words to remember point, please note them in your copy also. Thank you so much.